Hey everybody out there, I'm coming to you from Kentucky in my studio here, and I want to talk about toned canvases. I have two canvases here, okay? They're both 8 by 10 stretched canvas. They're stapled on the back. One is white, which is how I bought it, and one is toned, which is what I did to it. And I took the white canvas and I used a terracotta gesso and I toned it. I painted it on there. And why would I do that? I mean, I can paint on this. Yes, I can paint on that. There's a couple of problems that might happen, and this kind of helps alleviate those problems. When you're painting, you've got fabric canvas on the stretched bars, and the fabric is like, the weave is like that. So in between the holes where the threads come together, there's those little holes. And if you don't push really hard to get the paint down in there, and I paint in acrylic paint, when that paint dries, sometimes those holes will show up. And then you're thinking, oh, I gotta go back there and fix all that. Well, then it looks crappy, for lack of a better word. So if you'll tone a canvas, that will alleviate that problem. You wouldn't notice this color peeking through, but you do know, your eye just goes straight to that white. And so that's one way to help it. Another thing that this can do is you won't see any of this underneath a painting. This painting here had a very similar color, maybe a little not as bright, but it had a very similar color under it. You don't see any of it. It just helps. It can warm up a painting because this is a warmer color. You can use a warm gray. You can use a cooler gray. I have a gigantic canvas over there that is I toned it with actual paint, and it's black and yellow and white. Black and yellow make a beautiful green, and so then I added some white, and so there's lots of interest, and it's before I paint anything on there. So when I do paint something, you're not going to see that. But the warmth and the depth of it will add to the painting. And then again, if a little piece of it dries and the color evaporates and then that white shows up, now your eye just is going to go right to that. And I don't want that to happen. I want your eye to start maybe at the bottom and work your way through the painting. But sometimes things happen that, like that little white dot sticking out there every once in a while, and then you're trying to fix that. So this will help alleviate that. It can also warm up a painting. It can cool down a painting. So you have to think through, okay, so what am I going to paint? I'm going to paint something fall. Well, maybe everything on there is going to be so warm, maybe I do want a gray color under there. Or maybe I'm going to paint, these are just maybes, but maybe I'm going to paint a lake and the water's cool. So maybe I want this underneath of it to help bring a little bit of warmth to it, to where it's not so harsh. Whoops, sorry. Well, that's what happens. To where it's not so harshly cold. Okay, so that's the purpose of toning a canvas and how you tone a canvas. So thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this, and if you did, give me a thumbs up. I sure could appreciate it. And then subscribe to my channel. I try to post weekly, and try is my disclaimer there. I don't always make it, but I do try. So I hope you enjoyed this. So let's paint together real soon.